Oh, what a treat. Wallace and Gromit switching on our Christmas lights. 'Tis the season to be together with BBC One.
So, I'm happy to announce that Christmas begins here on Some Boy Online. And this year, Christmas, of course, equals Wallace and Gromit. So today we've got an exciting bit of news from the BBC, but as you can see in the background, we've got all the Christmas decks up, and yeah, to be honest, I wanted to translate the kind of warm and cozy vibes, not only of Wallace and Gromit, but what people have described these videos as. So logically, I just thought of the kind of warm winter glow of Christmases gone by. You might be able to spot some things on the tree, and of course, this jumper is courtesy of Forbidden Planet as part of the Wallace and Gromit range, which is coming soon. So the news that we have today is that the BBC have unveiled exclusive Wallace and Gromit Christmas themed idents. Now, if you don't know, idents are a thing on the television. Back in the day when Christmas kind of centered around, the TV and the programs were kind of watched by everyone, the idents were simply kind of a bumper in between the adverts and the program itself. So at Christmas time, you get Christmas themed idents, which as time went on, became more kind of experimental. I remember a really cool Doctor Who one with David Tennant, I think in 2009, and then the last time we've had Wallace and Gromit idents would have been ironically the year before in 2008 with their last film. We've got Wallace and Gromit skating through the snow and the BBC One logo in the middle. And then going back further, I remember there was some, I think BBC Two idents where they're sitting around the table. This one in particular is known for being quite uncanny in Wallace's appearance as he kind of stares onward while the music loops. This is because the short clips are made to loop so that if anything goes wrong, the ident will continue to kind of play. But yeah, nowadays the effort just isn't really made, so it's really fun that Aardman have made idents exclusively for BBC One. These are the kind of little tidbits that you get from having the film be on the BBC, on British TV, as opposed to just being put out on Netflix. You get kind of more of a fanfare, I think. So yeah, I can already see this lovely image of Wallace and Gromit in the Christmas jumpers with Norbot, and I think a hidden Feathers McGraw on the tree there. Yeah, I'll read the kind of intro on the article. So it says, to celebrate their long-awaited return to the BBC this Christmas Day, in their new film Vengeance Most Foul, Wallace and Gromit will be taking over the BBC this December with specially commissioned Christmas idents exclusively for the BBC. Aardman have created 3 festive Wallace and Gromit idents which will appear across BBC One throughout December. The idents feature Wallace Gromit, Wallace's new invention, the smart gnome Norbot, and supervillain Feathers McGraw. They were filmed at Aardman Studio in Bristol and directed by Jay Grace, who's done Shaun the Sheep, and produced by Ben Barrowman. So there are 3 of these, and we're going to watch the first one, which is called Christmas Jumpers. I've got the feeling there won't be too much depth to these, but there might be some hidden references in the background. The nice jumpers on, the slippers. An automated Christmas. Very nice. So this would usually have like the BBC commentary over the top of it, so the kind of the continuity. So as this would play, you'd have next on BBC One. That is interesting there that Norbot kind of cuddles up with Gromit, as it's kind of pitched that they're mortal enemies in the film. It makes you kind of sad for Norbot, like is he going to stick around after this film? Is he going to be redeemed? Because, it would be a shame if they get on so well. But you've of course got the train and stuff there, so let's go back to the start. So first of all, you've got a nice close-up of Gromit with his Santa hat on. I just love the visuals, they look amazing. You've got feathers in the background there, I think just as an ornament. I don't think it's him. The jumper's lovely. You can see all of the fingerprints up close here. And yeah, I just love this shot. The lights in the background and stuff. So then they sit down, and the blown of the thumb thing here to make the hats pop out is what Wallace and Gromit and Fluffles do at the end of A Matter of Love and Death, the very last time we saw them in a film. Yeah, I knew I recognised it from somewhere. Then you hear the tooting of a train horn, and we get the iconic train set from the wrong trousers appear at the feet, so they can rest their feet up. And yeah, a very iconic set piece. We then get the mugs appearing. Where do they come from? Yeah, they spring out the armchair. It's weird, we're going between versions, but these are the plain Wallace and Gromit versions. We then get, is that the thing from Kraken Contraptions? It's very similar to the Kraken Contraptions episode where Wallace has this convoluted invention to turn on the TV, where it comes out and throws a ball, which then hits into something else and that changes the channel, as opposed to just using a remote as he does here. So it's progressed a bit. But yeah, lovely details. We've got some mince pies that Norbot has, and the Wallace and Gromit mugs are like steaming with the heat, which is great. The warm lighting in the side. Feathers McGraw is on a card as well, and this photograph we've seen before in the background as well. Yeah, it's a lovely, cozy, heartwarming stuff. Oh, it feels good, man. We're getting very close now, and this kind of stuff just takes you right back to the originals when we used to get stuff like this all the time. The next one is called The Big Light Up. Potential reference to The Big Fix Up, the mobile app, maybe? Okay, so they're outside now. Gromit's put up a tree. Wallace has erected a larger tree. And you've got some others in the background. On Norbot's at the top. That looks lovely. Look at all the lights on the house. In the snow, it's lovely atmosphere. Yeah, the whole thing looks amazing. I assume the snow is really there. I honestly can't tell, which is a good thing. Yeah, Gromit's got his earmuffs on this time. I think he's worn earmuffs before. It could maybe be the same ones in another Christmas ident. Wallace's little bobble hat and scarf is lovely, and of course his massive mechanical tree. The rarely seen neighbours of Wallace and Gromit in the background there. And probably the hardest to spot Easter egg is that the silhouette of Feathers himself can actually be seen in the window of Wallace and Gromit's house. Yeah, there's something that feels so right about seeing Wallace and Gromit dressed in the Christmas clothing and stuff. You know, it just really, really works. And yet, it's never happened in a proper film. I think that's what I would do if I was asked to do a Wallace and Gromit. I would instantly kind of float towards an actual Christmas film or episode, because the two marry together so well. And yeah, I think a full Christmas themed Wallace and Gromit film to then be released on Christmas would be amazing. But yeah, that's the second, and we'll go to the third and final ident, which is called Ice Sculpture. That kind of reminds us of, once again, Kraken Contraptions. Gromit makes a snowman of Wallace in one of them, which is then brutally destroyed. And yeah, we'll see if it's reminiscent of this. Speech, that's rare. Okay, not so much speech, but some vocals from Ben Whitehead as Wallace here. Ha, the diamond. Norbot looks large. Hey, he's not a small gnome. He looks big there. So yeah, this is the repeating part of the ident. I love that, to be honest, and I love the fact that they've just released them like this, so people don't have to dig for them and edit out the audio and stuff. First of all, you've got Gromit working on a Wallace ice sculpture, which is of course like spot on. He's got a kind of wooden mallet there. Wallace is working on a Gromit one, which is much further from the his actual appearance. It's kind of square and with two kind of rocks for eyes. And yeah, then we'll pan over to Norbot. I think it's a lot to do with the perspective, and Norbot is closer to us. But he of course makes a Feathers McGraw. With the glove on the head, you've appropriately got the coals for the eyes, the carrot nose, and then he creates the diamond in his hands, which of course we know Feathers is after again in the new film, while Wallace makes some tea in the background. And there's also this completely unannounced fourth ident, which is just Wallace and Gromit's living room, but completely empty, which makes for a nice vibe. So they could be hiding more of these, but as of now, they are the 4 idents that have been revealed. Yeah, I assume different teams worked on these because the rest of the animators would have been working on the film, but I'm not entirely sure. Either way, the animation looks spot on, looks really fluent. Oh, and we've got some behind the scenes stuff as well. So behind the scenes images reveal how the idents were brought to life. It's so cool to see normal people next to these things and how big they are really. Look at this set of Wallace and Gromit in the room. Wouldn't that be the best Christmas decoration ever, to have that actual like set. It looks so cool. And yeah, I think this Christmas tree's appeared before as well. Just to mention that in kind of promotional photos and stuff. But yeah, these are mint. I love them. As I said, in terms of animation quality, they're just spot on really. They're very familiar, nostalgic and reminiscent of those old idents. So it's great that in this day and age they are still doing them. And apparently we are going to see them constantly on the BBC throughout December. So that should help to promote the film. But I know a lot of people just won't see the TV or they're not in the UK. So I thought this was a good opportunity to share the idents so that everyone can see them. So I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll be back with more Wallace and Gromit and Christmas content throughout December up until Christmas. So thanks for watching, and I will see you very soon.